Now, here's a young woman's story about how she came down with an anxiety and OCD-like series of tendencies, all from a common infection.
When I was 12, a common cold completely changed my life, turned into something that affected me for months to come. I decided to spend the night at my friend's house, and the next day I woke up, I was sneezing every other second. It was a rhythmic pattern, it never let up. I couldn't eat, read, sleep without having to stop every 3 to 5 seconds and sneeze. The only time that I ever stopped was when I was sleeping, but even getting to sleep was a challenge. We went to tons of doctors and they thought it was allergies or just a cold. It was a mystery to everyone. After sneezing 25,000 times a day for months, I didn't know when my life would ever be normal again, and that caused a lot of anxiety in my life. The local news covered the story. The national media started reaching out to us. People were fascinated with it. They just knew the sneezing girl. Some people accused me of being crazy or a fake. Some doctors thought that I was being emotionally abused, that had led to a physical manifestation of the sneezing. Nancy Snyderman from Today's Show reached out to us about a doctor that she knew that she thought could help. I was diagnosed with PANDAS, which is an acronym for Pediatric Autoimmune Neuropsychiatric Disorder Associated with Streptococcus. It's a rare disorder triggered by things like strep. After that first IVIG treatment, my sneezing just kind of slowed down like a car running out of gas and just stopped. My anxiety just went away overnight. It flipped like a switch. I did a complete 360. Today I'm a senior in high school. I'm involved in band, track, soccer, looking forward to graduation in June. I even wrote one of my college essays on my PANDAS experience. It changed my life, so I thought that was important to share with others.
What a great story. I applaud Lauren and her family for persevering. Listen, everybody, if you suspect your symptoms of being brought on by an infection, don't be shy about this. It's part of the search for what might be causing your issues. And this is a new area for doctors. I had not heard of a lot of these connections, so I'm sure that it's going to be a slow-moving process. Author Harry Washington is back with us, as well as psychiatrist Gail Saltz. They're going to help us figure out what you should do about it. So, Dr. Saltz, I listened to that beautiful story.
Yes.
And I think to myself, my goodness, everyone has had strep. Everybody, literally, everybody in this room and watching at home. How does an infection so common as strep cause problems like OCD and anxiety?
Right. Well, this is the one actually really recognized, research corroborated mental health diagnosis that can be brought on by infection. It seems that the strep bacteria hides in your body essentially by covering itself with receptors that look like other organs in your body. Eventually the body catches on and goes in to attack it, but when that happens it creates antibodies that also attack parts of your body, and it can attack your brain. And when that happens, you can develop, because it causes a dysfunction in the brain, OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, or tics. And in her case, in Lauren's case, right, it was this sneezing tic. And she had a classic presentation because it's basically somebody who's been fine up until that moment, and then the symptoms come on like gangbusters, like really more than you would see, because look, lots of children get tics. In fact, 1 out of every 5 children get a tic at some point, but it's slower to come on, it's more minimal, it grows slowly, or OCD, the same thing. But when it comes on like this, you have to think about strep, you have to think about PANDAS.
Let's be practical about this. If someone is concerned, fearful that infection is causing their mental health problem, what do they do?
Well, first of all, I think if you're really presenting with mental health problems, it is wise to go seek an evaluation. And probably if it seems like mental health is the major issue, you want to go to a psychiatrist. If you go to a child psychiatrist with your child who's having recurrent tics or recurrent OCD symptoms, and they get the history from you, hey, this came on like pow after I had a cold, they should send you to the pediatrician to be strep tested. If they don't, you should bring it up, and you should seek out that pediatrician who will do that.
Harriet, last word to you. You spent a lot of time researching this. What can folks do to protect their families?
There's a lot you can do, and in fact, prevention is even more important than treatment in some ways, because by the time you give treatment, damage is often already done. Prevention is as simple as always getting a flu shot, because we think influenza may be implicated in schizophrenia. It's as simple as all the things mom told you to do. Wash your hands carefully before you handle food. Cook your food thoroughly to kill the bad germs in it that might cause things like bipolar disorder down the line. And If you have cats, you can keep your cats. In fact, one very prominent researcher in this field has 2 cats. But be careful with your cats. You know, use gloves when you handle the kitty litter, for example. And if you have children, don't let your children play outside with sandboxes unless these sandboxes are covered and locked at night, because sandboxes tend to be used as kitty litter boxes by feral cats.
Oh, of course they
Carry
would.
Toxoplasma gondii.
How come no one ever says that? And of course, why would you go play the sandbox? It's kitty litter.
These are good health things to do anyway. But I would
Exactly.
say that if you are presenting with mental health symptoms, even with a case like PANDAS, like Lauren, you should be treated for the symptoms anyway. In other words, they'll treat your strep, and slowly the symptoms will diminish. But it can be really interruptive in your life like it was in hers, and being treated by a psychiatrist for the OCD or the tics, which are both, by the way, very treatable, will help your life get back on track much sooner, and the child goes through a lot less suffering.
Thanks both very much. We'll be right back.